Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me back in the temple for another episode of Azteca Underground. So we got some cool stuff in the works from the last episode. A pretty solid show, despite only having a 35. It's fine. We'll get there. It is a little bit under the performance of the last show, but some interesting things happening there. And we still have a lot of storylines and we need to debut, and that's going to be kind of our focus, because we do have quite a bit of storylines going on here. I just went through all of those, so you probably can read a whole bunch of spoilers if you pause. Not really, just synopses. So that's pretty cool. Other thing I wanted to show you guys, I'm still working as an in progress, but something to add a little flavor to this. I've been working on a skin for this show. So got a whole bunch of skins out there. I've never been super satisfied with them, but I've been trying to work on my own. So give me some feedback on what you think of how this looks. And if it's readable on YouTube. We're only going to show this for a couple seconds because I'm still tweaking it, but I kind of wanted to make something special. And once I'm done it, I'll probably release it to the channel, maybe on our official Discord. There's a link in the description of this video to join up right away. Yeah, once I'm done it, a lot of the pages are not done yet. So, there's a lot of things that are half done and stuff like that. Right now, I'm probably going to cheat and just get only the pages that you guys see up and running. But eventually, I want to get the entire thing set up. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of that and if that looks good or not. And I'm probably going to continue to tweak it, and hopefully in a couple episodes you guys may see it show up. Definitely for Season 2. Just to let you know. But I'll probably release it earlier than that for you guys. So if you want that sort of a playthrough, if you're doing this on your own, if MLW official reboot into work somewhere, they may be involved. We don't know. Everything's crazy. They're just going to have some interest. Okay, let's see what we got here. We need to get to the temple. Only going to have 316 fans at the show. We have a venue capacity of 1,500, so it's not going to be a problem. We did have a backstage instance. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what that is. Incident involving Blue Demon Jr. and Conan. Wrestler's Court. Blue Demon Jr. was brought before Wrestler's Court, accused of being an hour late, and of course assigned to pay for his travel partner's meals for the next 3 shows. And we do have an absent worker, which is Nick Gage, who's out injured. We can medal. Don't know who we want to. Sure. Did not work. Okay. So last episode we had some stuff happen. We had Famous B, a in-universe rapper, showing up to the show with his crew and defeating Superfly, Dragon Lee, and Killshot Nero. We had Guatemoc debut and chaperoned by Vega, this sort of true Aztec warrior, as though he's ripped out of time. Carlito, obviously, debuting, wanting to prove himself and prove that he has some worth. Katrina still wanting her how do you describe that relationship? But she wants him back, and Dario saying that there maybe need to be some kind of sacrifices to bring Mil Muertes back. And then some problems with Shaul and Chavo, and in their relationship, as the two argue. Shaul has a bitter, vicious streak, and Chavo doesn't like it. And of course, AJ Hammerstone's beat a triple threat to get the first of the Aztec medallions for the Gifts of the Gods, which we've made actual belts. I don't know if this will work better. I tried to do something similar in NWA at one point. It was very hard to figure out who had what. So I think this might work a little bit better. And of course, Big Rick appears. And Dario, for some reason, looks like he's seen a ghost before Rick powerbombs Laredo Kid, just because he's in the way. So some interesting elements happening here. We'll have to see what we're going to play to. This third episode, we're probably going to still set up some other storylines. We need to get some of these hot, though. So we will see what we're going to book going forward. Let's go ahead and let's get to the show, and I'll catch you guys on the flip. All right, guys, we are back. Restart that. Oh. Alright guys, we are back and ready for another episode of Azteca Underground. We got 65 minutes in the bag. Still building up. I'm trying to mix some new storylines with some existing ones. And honestly, I ended up doing a little bit more of the storylines we've already had. Very difficult to get a lot in on 60 minutes, I will tell you. Especially because we want to have some longer matches, and that takes up a lot of time. So let's see what we do. I'm hoping that we can build up a few of the storylines, get them hot, and lose that penalty, and hopefully put on the best show we've had. And so let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we got. So we start the show off backstage with Big Rick, who ended the last show debuting to a scared as hell Dario Cueto. And Dario Cueto apparently is nowhere to be seen on this show. He's not out there in front gloating and facilitating like he normally would. He just kind of disappeared. And Big Rick is storming all over the place looking for him. He gets through the locker room. It's deep, dark in shadow as usual. And he sees a shadow move behind him and kind of in the corner of his eye. And he stops, turns around, and as he swings around, he grabs the shadow by the throat and lifts the person into the wall. He knew exactly who it was and what was going on, and Katrina is there being gripped aggressively by the throat. And he says very pointedly, "Hello, bitch. Doesn't look like you have your dog around anymore, huh?" Big Rick knows apparently a lot about Katrina. She isn't fazed by this in the slightest. In fact, she seems like she knows that Rick knows all about her. And just pointedly says, "Let me go, or it'll be the last thing you do." Her eyes showing no fear, only that intent to kill inside of it. He complies, drops her down, calms down a little bit. "Where is Dario?" he says. "I know you know where he is. We have business to discuss." She kind of feigns ignorance and says, it looks like he's not here today. What is it you seek?" And she kind of looks at Creature. "You know you're not supposed to be here." She says kind of ominously in a way we don't quite understand. She cocks her head and as she inquires and tries to kind of stare him down and figure him out. He just completely ignores her and walks away, muttering only a confident, "Oh, you already know." So we start to show off with a 36 and a lot of mystery building between what Katrina and Big Rick know. Obviously, the viewers don't know very much right now. And we kind of have to see what plays into this of who Big Rick is, why he knows Katrina, what is it that he's really here for, and why is he so intent on finding Dario. And we start to show off itself with Blue Demon Jr. having had a successful match last week, coming out and cutting a promo about how much of an honor it is to be in the ring again, and what a privilege it is to be in America, to wrestle for the fans here, and how excited he is to be here. And Carlito comes out and kind of fanboys for a little bit. It says how important Blue Demon was to him and how he used to watch him on TV all the time, and how much respect for him he has, and how it would be an honor to really fight him and prove himself. And Blue Demon, accepts as sort of two technicos just kind of agreeing to wrestle. Carlito obviously has not an ulterior motive. I mean, he just wants to prove himself, and it would be a great proof to challenge and face a former legend, right, or a current legend that he respected. Carlito's getting better as gimmick, and we advance Carlito's storyline. Carlito has a match with him. It apparently has terrible wrestling, though. But Blue Demon Jr. actually defeats Carlito in 8 minutes. He gets a fast roll-up. He ends up kind of, not cheating, but he ends up getting a quick flash pinfall, catching Carlito off his game. Both of them have about the same in-ring performance. Blue Demon Jr. is not very well received from the vocal crowd. And we actually lose heat for our storyline, unfortunately, which is not what we wanted. Carlito's kind of got a tweener thing here, and we want him to be a technico, so we got to kind of move him to a face. It did not seem to click at all, which is unfortunate, which we might want to maybe script them out in the future, because that is unfortunate. We did get a crowd hotter, though. Gets a 32. It's not great. That's an unfortunate start of the show, but unfortunately for Carlito, not really being able to prove himself here, and losing to a legend. And we'll have to see what lengths he's willing to go to kind of prove himself, and how this will affect him. Now, backstage, despite not being in any matches, a lot of these competitors are just kind of hanging out and watching the matches, learning and studying. Famous B's kind of half watching from the gorilla kind of position, and the sort of the locker room leads into a doorway that it's not really gorilla because they come down a stairwell, but you can kind of see the match from the doorway of the locker room on the side, and he's watching, but he's really kind of also scribbling in a journal and writing up sort of a new song, and sort of muttering and freestyling to himself as he's kind of hearing it out. He's not really here for the fight, right? He's here for the image. And similarly, AJ Hammerstone's in the locker room, and a similar kind of personality. He's also in it for the image, for that Hollywood cred. Both of them there for cred in a weird way. The two recognize each other and have this first time they've really interacted here at Azteca. Both of them are from Hollywood and seen each other around. Hammerstone kind of like, holy shit, what the hell are you doing here? He hadn't seen his match, apparently. Famous B smiles and is like, man, I could say the same thing about you. Holy hell. I'm here for the real deal. It's all about that rep. It's about that respect. It's about being here. Hammerstone kind of gives him a little attitude, though. He goes like, yeah, it's about not dying. Hammerstone's got a little bit of ego now. He's won some matches. He thinks he's tough shit. And he says, dude, listen, you're not built for this. This place is for real. I've been out there. It's real. They're not throwing punches. They're not making it look good. They're looking to kill. B takes offense, obviously. He goes, yeah, I'm not built for this. He drops his journal down on the ground in the process, stand up to kind of face down Hammerstone a little bit. He's like, listen, man, I'm not some reject stuntman from TV. I am from the street. I've lived through this all my life. Hammerstone only hears the insult to him, which is stuntman. He clenches a fist, about to swing. He kind of cools himself down last minute. Instead, he raises that hand after that fist clenches back and kind of gives Hammerstone a very kind of meaty grip on his shoulder. A not-so-friendly gesture as he kind of pulls him in a little bit. Goes like, listen, some advice. you gotta watch yourself, brother. You might have bit too much off here. Maybe he goes and leans down and grabs the journal from the ground and kind of gives the journal back into Famous's chest a little bit. It's kind of pushing the journal away and says, maybe go back to writing songs for pretty blondes. And he walks away. Hammerstone's got a glare in his eyes. He kind of pulls down his sunglasses with shades and looking at the back of Hammerstone. The two of them, too much ego in the room, and clearly neither of them are thrilled anymore to see each other. Both have something to prove. Both don't respect each other, and surely that's going to build up in the ring at some point. We got a match. Oof, this is an ugly match. Chavo and Shaw versus Ricky Reyes and Little Cholo. It did not have much heat. Had terrible wrestling, in fact. Ricky Reyes and Little Cholo defeat Chavo Guerrero and Shaw Guerrero. Ricky Reyes pins Chavo with a German suplex. It did not show up here, but there was supposed to be a miscommunication. Basically, Chavo and Shaw kind of have a self-distraction, which leads to the loss. The two of them are not working out well. Chavo was not liking what he's seeing in Shaw's attitude here, and the two of them are in disagreement. We actually build up a couple different storylines here, because obviously All for the Record deal is Famous B's story, but Ricky Reyes and Little Cholo are part of his crew, competing out here, and obviously we're building up the Chavo and Shaw's storyline here a little bit. Gets a 35. Unfortunately, the vocal crowd was not thrilled to see Shaw, which is unfortunate, and something we're going to have to look into in terms of a course correction for our storylines, because she does not necessarily have a big part, but she has an element here of a storyline, and we'll course correct. This is always good feedback. Unfortunately, it does hurt both this segment and not too much actually the storyline. Did not gain heat for it though, which is what we want. We want those hot storyline angles. Did get the crowd hotter though, which is good. After the fact, we advance the story again as they argue in the ring, and Shaw just kind of leaves Chavo in the ring, disbanding their sort of familiar tag team. Chavo gets double teamed and quickly loses the match, obviously not being able to fight a 2-on-1 match, and seems like the family having not necessarily broken up, but definitely having a dysfunction there. And Chavo having to deal with what that attitude is, which we'll have to figure out what exactly is going on with them. We are trying to... for some reason, he was set as a Rudo. He should have been set as a Technico, so I'm not really sure why, but we're kind of hinting at that face turn for this. And then we got Big Rick and Superfly. Big Rick gets a match tonight as he does a very quick match, 4 minutes. Poor Superfly gets the torture rack. Both have a 37. They did pretty good. Got the crowd. The crowd was about the same. The match itself got a 23. Got hindered, I think, by how short the match was. And actually, it was a poor Technico-Rudo combination. Got us a pretty poor performance here as they kind of clashed. I gotta look at what these two are set at, because one of them must be set wrong. After the fact, Rick saves us a little bit by grabbing a microphone and calling out Dario Cueto, who's still been absent the entire show. He goes, "So, big man's hiding from me, huh? I haven't seen Cueto all day, now have we? Looks like somebody knows what I do. See, though, I know how to hold my cards close to the chest. There's a secret about this place that only a few are privy to. It used to be just a few people, one or two, that knew. Well, I guess now it's a third. Dario, you may want to silence me. You might want to hide the truth from the world. Well, you know what they say. three can keep a secret when two are dead. We have business to discuss. And if you want to keep this secret, you're going to have to pay me or kill me. And I think you know the latter won't work. So, again, more mystery. We don't really know what Rick knows, what he wants. It seems like he wants something, some kind of payment. It might be money, it might be maybe a title, it might be a challenge, and we don't know what he wants. But he's here basically looking for the bribe or something. This is a 36, and we have a 6-man match between Dragon Lee, Drago, and Son of Havoc versus Pentagon Dark, Jacob Fatu, and Killshot Nero. This match is pretty okay. Drago actually just got a strained bicep from this, unfortunately, and then slowed down due to that injury. And Pentagon Dark looking really off its game. Unfortunate, but Drago, Dragon Lee, and Son of Havoc defeat the team of Pentagon Dark, Jacob Fatu, and Killshot Nero. 11-minute match. Drago pinned Killshot Nero with a running, twisting moonsault plancha. That's a move. Nero was the weak link here, struggling to keep up everyone's in-ring performance. Fatu's monster heel gimmick got a poor rating, unfortunately. He's sort of our ambassador to MLW here. We don't really have much of a story for him yet, so I would like to see if you guys got ideas of what to do with Fatu. Let me know, and probably in the second act of this series, we'll probably start to interject him a little bit more. Got the crowd buzzing, got a 42, which is not horrible for us, especially compared to where everybody is in terms of rating right now. And then we start the storyline that's called The Slayer of Dragons. We obviously have Drago and Dragon Lee here, both self-appointed dragons. Drago being a real descendant of a dragon, apparently, and Dragon Lee kind of embodying that spirit, right? Yeah, that was unfortunate. And we bring back our Aztec warrior, who at the end of the match, after Drago gets attended to a little bit and leaves, Dragon Lee kind of helps pick him up and walk away, sees him off, and is left open and exposed, and Guatemoc appears to then show up to attack Dragon Lee, viciously assaulting him and actually throwing him through a wall, through like a plasterboard wall, to attack him and leave. He seems like he's out to call a shot here, and he does in a big way, leaving Dragon Lee injured and, through a different room as he throws him. We actually lose heat, though, with this storyline. This is problematic. Part of the problem here is that some of these wrestlers have very low popularity compared to where they should be for what we're doing, and that's we're going to struggle there with that. Gets us a 32, and we have another segment backstage, deep in the temple. We have the camera following a deep hallway, dark, dimly lit, dank pipes leading along the wall, leading the camera down to a dark opening, a very dimly lit boiler room. The walls drip with water, and the pipes shudder and hiss from the strain of age. Dario emerges from the shadows in this room, a briefcase in hand, looking at somebody behind the camera, and he says, "Sorry for the unconventional meeting place. I needed to avoid prying eyes." To the camera comes a man, young, an aggressive look in his eyes, and a self-assured smugness on his face, all packaged around an expensive-looking outfit of a cowboy hat, a thick rope around him, and good and chunky cowboy boots. He's got this sort of gringo attitude about him. He listens into Dario's proposal, and he says, "I need a favor. And this is the down payment." He points to the briefcase. "I have a problem that needs solving, and I need it to look like an accident in the ring. Do what you have to. Make it a bloody feud. And I assure you that if you do this right, I'll make sure that you have the tools you need to get it done in the end. Do you accept, Tejano? And Tejano looks at him and looks at the briefcase. Cueto opens it up. It's filled with thick stacks of $100 bills. A lot of paper filling it to the brim. Tejano looks at it, looks at him, grins, gives an affirmative nod. So Tejano clearly going to be kind of a hitman for Dario here. He's going to have a blood feud in the ring with somebody. We can kind of assume who it's going to be. Fortunately, Tejano's gringo gimmick gets a poor rating. We do gain heat for the impossible return story, and it seems Dario Cueto is going to solve this big rig problem through Tejano. We finish a show with that. I think we're going to get 35 again, but yeah, we'll see. 36, it's not horrible. We do lose some because of our production being lower, some of our rivals, and we do lose popularity in one region. We gain it in 6 others, but yeah, difficulties in terms of producing the show that we want with some of the myriad variety of wrestlers that we have here, unfortunately. All right, we got some news. We got Drago's injury. We'll take a look at that here real quick. Our viewing ratings are 0.01. We're getting pretty much no views. Drago is hurt a few days, so he should be fine. Not the end of the world. We could always shelve him for a little bit if we needed to. Where is our medical? There it is. Strained bicep, 2 days. We're still waiting for Matanza to be fit, and Nick Gage is pretty much injured here. We might actually give him his surgery and see if we can do it. Complete success. Gives him only a 1 month back, so we might not get him in our first season at all, unfortunately. But we'll keep his place where he is. It's fine. Drago, we should have back in 2 days. Matanza, we don't have plans for in the next couple episodes, but he will be showing up later, I assure you. So Jeff Cobb, once he's back and healthy, will be showing up. And that is it for the latest episode of Azteca Underground. Building some stories. Do we have enough hot... We got 1, 2. I think we need 3 storylines. 2, 3. So we do. Some of them we need to build up a little bit more. We need to look at maybe hiring some other workers that can maybe main event in a more consistent fashion. Part of the problem, though, is obviously the way we're doing the storylines. It's really more of a storyline focus first over roster importance. So we'll see. We might just build them up through popularity and we'll be fine. But overall, I think that was a pretty decent show and a lot of interesting mystery and intrigue building up. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.